Hey guys, a lot has been going on. This summer's been a blast. I've had so much fun, and I wanted to give y'all a little life update because I haven't been vlogging that much. I vlogged our trip to Boston, which is a really quick trip of just us siblings, and it was so much fun. We've been on a few trips this summer. We went back home to Indiana twice, one for our cousin's graduation party and celebration, and then another for a family wedding, which is so exciting. The first of many to come. We went to Pittsburgh for the Dick's campaign, and then we've done some little trips and just had so much fun. I've been working out per usual 2 to 3 times per week with Fitz, my trainer, getting stronger and just training. It feels so good. And since it's so hot outside, I've been swimming, and we've been doing pool workouts as well. Noodle's coming on my lap. If you haven't met Noodle, this is Noodle, and he's so cute. He's my mom's kitty, and him and Kevin are friends. School is starting back up, and if you do not know, I'm not going off to school. I'm not going off to university. Kind of just doing my own thing right now, and I'm really enjoying it. I love it. I'm not stressed about anything. It was a personal decision if I wanted to go off to college, and I wanted to go somewhere and be in a dorm and do all the things. I could have done that. Campuses and colleges have all the accessibility and all the necessity and things that I would need. It's all out there, which is great, but college isn't something that I was looking forward to. Even before my accident, I was gonna graduate high school a year early and then do like a gap year, because I don't know, I just wasn't excited to go off and do the whole college experience. I know that's some people's, like, they look forward to that for like all of middle school and high school, but that's just, I don't know, not something that I really look forward to. So I'm not doing that as of right now, not doing classes or anything. I'm focusing on writing my book, which is so exciting, and I'm taking it slow. I have a lot of mentors who have written successful books, which has been amazing, both Christian and then autobiographies and memoirs and all the beautiful things. So I'm reading a bunch, writing a bunch, and not pressuring myself. When I feel like writing, I'm gonna write, and if I'm not feeling inspired, I'm not gonna write, because I want to take my time with it and make it really beautiful and authentic and vulnerable, and share more in detail all the stories and everything of my journey that I maybe haven't shared in depth on all the social media platforms. But anyways, I think we're traveling every month. It's coming up, which is so exciting. And again, because I'm not taking classes and I'm not tied down to any area or anything, I can be spontaneous, and we can go and do a weekend trip if we want to, or we can plan things that would be on a school night, and we can do them. And it's so much fun. I feel like the stage I'm in right now is I'm just like living life so free and just exploring. I feel like exploration is definitely the word that I would use for the season of life I'm in right now. We are actually leaving for a huge trip this week. Today's Sunday, and we're leaving Thursday, and we're flying out to Seattle, and we'll be there for a day-ish to explore. I've never been to Seattle. Mariah, Connor, and my mom have, but I'm excited to go. Just a new city and see, and then we're getting on a cruise boat, and we're doing an Alaskan cruise, and I'm so freaking excited about it. I'm so excited. Like, I cannot wait to go and see all the mountains, the glaciers, the animals, and it is in the hundreds every single day here in Texas. And I looked up the weather in Alaska, and it was 52, and it was 104 yesterday. Like, literally half what it is. So I'm so excited for just the complete weather change and just to be literally in a different world that I've never been before. So super excited. Definitely will be documenting that on all my social media platforms. This is a trip I've been wanting to go on for a really long time. My brother and sister went 5 years ago, and I wasn't able to make that trip because of Cheers. So I'm really excited to have the chance to go now. And my grandparents are going as well, and this is my graduation gift from my mom. So I'm so excited that we're all going together. And again, I just love traveling so freaking much. I had an incident last week that was crazy, and thankfully I'm obviously back home now and doing good, but I worked out Monday and had a really good workout, did some standing work, had a really difficult workout, but it was just challenging. It was really good. It was just a hard workout. And then Tuesday morning, I woke up, and as I was getting ready, my mom noticed that my left ankle was swollen, which we were like, oh, that's weird. I did do standing work, so maybe I tweaked it or did something to it, but we weren't really quite sure what happened. So we just kind of kept an eye on it throughout the day. Her and I ran some errands, blah, blah, blah. I felt fine, whatever. And then by the end of the night, when I was sitting on the couch with her, my whole knee was swollen, and my calf and my ankle, my foot were really swollen. It wasn't super alarming, but it was definitely okay, there's something wrong going on. There's something going on and it's not right. We didn't know if we should go to the emergency room or if it was just swelling. Again, maybe I did something when I was doing the standing work. So her and I decided just to watch it overnight, go to bed, and keep an eye on it, but get a good night's rest. And then if it was worse or the same in the morning, we'd go and get it checked out. So when I woke up Wednesday morning, my whole thigh, my left thigh, was really swollen too and a little discolored. So my whole left leg was just swollen and not looking right. And again, it was weird that just one leg was like that and not both of them or whatever. Weird things go on with spinal cord injuries and just not having complete feeling in your body and everything. But again, we wanted to be rather safe than sorry. So we decided to grab some food and go to the emergency room because if you've been in the emergency room, you're there for hours. You're gonna be there all afternoon, whatever. It takes a while. So we've gone plenty of times because of UTIs and all the fun things of having a spinal cord injury or just having little health problems. So we went, checked in, and I just told him, I was my left leg is swollen, I'm quadriplegic, can't feel everything. I just want to make sure, we just want to see what's going on, And so then the doctor ordered a ultrasound right away and a CAT scan, obviously to look for blood clots, which the night before, so Tuesday night, I guess, when you look up the symptoms and you're dang it, I shouldn't have done that. But I knew blood clot, I was worried it was blood clots because I remember back in rehab, they're okay, you're immobile now, you're in a wheelchair, you're sitting, you're not standing up, moving your legs around, you're more susceptible to blood clots, all this stuff, whatever. Anyways, they do the CAT scan and the ultrasounds, and they're oh, you have a lot of blood clots in your leg. So it was kind of really quick after they realized that I had blood clots. Everything went by super quick. They brought in people from upstairs. They brought down the cardiovascular surgeon / doctor and anesthesiologist and someone else. And they're okay, we're gonna need to rush you into emergency surgery. When's the last time you ate? And I was a couple hours ago, not that long ago. And so they were debating back and forth. The anesthesiologist wanted to wait till at least 6 hours after I ate or drank anything, because of the risks of eating before surgery. I don't really know. But again, it was an emergency surgery. I wasn't expecting to go under surgery that day, so I ate and drank per usual. The cardiovascular doctor ended up winning and was no, we need to go now. I could not find a pulse in my foot at all, and which was very concerning, obviously, meaning there's no blood flow getting through, moving around whatsoever. And they brought amputation up and all this stuff. He was no, if we wait the 6 hours, we might have to amputate her foot. And I was no. Mom, were you calm when all this was happening?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, we really were calm. We were just talking to the people, and again, you're in this situation. You're in this situation. The worst thing you can do is freak out. We're all just trying to problem solve. You just need to talk to them, give them the information, and deal with the situations. Then hooked me up to some IVs, or giving me the lowdown of the surgery. Since it was an emergency surgery, they had to intubate me, which that made me start crying a little bit. I was like tearing up. I was like, no, please. I was like, do you have to? And they're like, yes. And so I was like, okay. But they were like, don't worry, like, you'll be out before we put it in, and it'll be out before you get back up. And I was like, okay. Because I just remember when it was like back when my accident happened, being in the ICU and like awake with it, like the tube in me, like, oh my gosh. So big, so uncomfortable, so scary. You feel so like claustrophobic. And then I just remember them taking it out of me, which was so uncomfortable, as you can imagine. And if you've ever seen like those tubes of them putting it in someone, it's just no. So I was more concerned about that than the blood clots, because I just knew that feeling and I did not want it again. They took me into surgery. Everyone was very nice, talking to me, all the things. Just, I'm a person that likes to know, so I like to ask a lot of questions. And I'm like, okay, if I like know what's happening, know what's going down, like that's awesome, perfect. So they kind of gave me the lowdown of what the surgery would look like. They're gonna go in through the back of my knee on my left side, obviously, and they were going to access the main vein in that leg. Could not tell you, do not know the anatomy of everything, but they're gonna go and get all the blood clots out through that. And then the blood clots went up through my pelvis area, so they had to put a, what's the word? Stent in. I always say splint, but they had to put a stent in to keep that main vein open. And then they diagnosed me with May-Thurner syndrome, which is basically, it says like the main artery crosses over your main vein in your pelvis, like squishes the vein down. And they said mine was almost completely closed. So they put the stent in to keep it open. And basically the surgery went really well. I got out, not that much, like an hour or two later. And then obviously I spent the night, because it was in the later evening. I spent the night so they could watch over me and everything, and put me on a bunch of blood thinners. And thankfully I wasn't in any pain really when I woke up, none from my body, because I have feeling in my legs, and like I could feel deep pressure, and I can tell you which toe you're touching. But I didn't have pain from the surgery, which is great and a benefit. But I just woke up and my throat was really sore and hurt from the intubation in the hospital, and I struggled with that, obviously. Like in the middle of the night, I just like could not sleep and was just like bawling to my mom, because it just like being back in the hospital and being back in a situation that's scary, and like having to text all the friends and family and be like, hey, like, keep us in your prayers, like, this is what's happening. And just like, I knew about blood clots before, and like, I know that they're very serious and that people die from them often. And I know that if they go to your lungs or heart or your brain, like, you can die instantly. And so it's just really scary, because I was like, I had these in me, and like, they could have easily moved to one of these areas, and I could have had a stroke, or I could have died, or whatever. And it just like, it was hard having another potential life-threatening situation again within the span of like 2 years, less than 2 years, I guess, almost 2 years. And just being so young, it's just like, I'm 18, like, other than breaking my neck and like being in a wheelchair, like I really am healthy. Like I'm a healthy young kid, you know, and it's just hard having, like, feeling that, like, it's out of my control, you know? And so it just sucked. But my mom and my sister are the best, and they comforted me. My mom slept with me in the little baby hospital bed, and I wanted to go home, because again, I hated being hooked up to a bunch of IVs, and I wasn't hooked up to a bunch of machines or anything, but I just was just bringing back so many emotions and feelings being in the hospital room and having people come in throughout the night and have to draw my blood so many times, because I just had blood clot removal surgery, whatever, and they put me on a bunch of blood thinners and all this stuff. It was just like bringing back a lot of memories that I are not fond, obviously. I was able to go home Thursday around noon, and I was so excited. I got the A-OK. Oh, the first thing I remembered and asked my doctor when I woke up, or the surgeon, I guess, from my surgery, was I was like, can I still go to Alaska? Because again, like, this trip has been on the forefront of my mind. Like, I've been so excited about it for so long. And he was like, yes, you can go to Alaska. Perfect. Okay, thank you. Because I was like, if we have to cancel this trip, like, I'm gonna be so mad. But thankfully we don't, and thankfully we get to go on it, so I'm so excited. But I got to go home Thursday around noon, so I was in the hospital for around 24 hours, but obviously it felt like way longer, and I was just so ready to be home. I was exhausted mentally and physically and emotionally, and I was just happy to be home, laying on the couch. And that's kind of what I've been doing these last, 3-4 days. It's really just sleeping a bunch, laying on the couch, keeping my leg elevated, and just kind of resting, reading, watching movies, listening to music, sleeping, eating, all the things on repeat, because this trip is gonna be big and it's gonna be very taxing on my body. So, and that's basically it. Again, a situation that I was like, oh, my ankle's swollen. Like, we'll keep an eye on that. Again, turned this into something so serious so fast. So I was like, God, like, okay, like, again, we got this. We can all do this. We can deal with this situation, all these things, but it's hard, you know? And I don't know if I'm being dramatic or not, but I don't know. It just brought back so much that I was like, okay, I'm strong. I can do this. Like, got what it takes inside of me. I've been through way worse. But what I've noticed, and like, it doesn't matter how much pain you go through, pain is still pain, and it still hurts, and it's still hard. So it's okay to allow yourself to act like it hurts, but you're not acting. You're just showing that it hurts, you know, whatever. So thankful that they got everything out and got cleared out, and that we went into the hospital in time with everything, because it could have been so much worse, which is just scary to think about. So I think I'm going to extra enjoy this travel and this cruise, and just being in God's masterpieces, and with the fresh, crisp air of glaciers, and just being in nature. I'm just so excited for it, and I'm excited to share it with y'all, obviously. So, the next video you see will probably be us in Alaska and Seattle. I'm so excited. And Mariah's behind the camera and just mentioned something to me that I completely forgot about. But we are going to Seattle, and then we're going on a cruise, and then we're coming back to Seattle, and then we're flying from Seattle to Monroe, Louisiana for the LO Sister Conference, which is Sadie Robertson Huff's women's conference. And I'm so excited. We went last year and I was one of the main speakers. I got invited back this year, and I'm doing like a breakout session with 2 other amazing women, which I'm so excited about. I'm excited just to attend, and I'm excited to speak again and just be there in the atmosphere. And the lessons I learned and the women I got to meet was incredible and beautiful. So I'm so excited to go back. It's gonna be tiring. We're gonna be gone for like the next 2 weeks. I'm really excited. I love you, and thanks for sticking around all these crazy adventures. And I'm just excited to go to Alaska.